Hey everyone, John from Nintendo Life here, and over the last few weeks we've had fun going back to older games and dispelling the notion that most of them are dead online. We started with the Switch with games like Team Sonic Racing and Doom and Puyo Puyo Tetris, and recently we did the Wii U with games such as Mario Kart 8 Online's Battle Mode, which for some reason was still active. But now it is time for another obvious one. We are going to check if Nintendo 64 games are still active.
Free for all!
Where the heck is anyone?
We could also do 3DS, but
For accuracy, we're going to search on 2 different days. Wednesday between 3 PM and 5 PM GMT, which is around 7 AM to 9 AM PT, and then 9 AM to 11 AM on the Thursday. And the reason the time's different is because America is likely in bed at that time. I want to test different regions and see if there's any difference in player count. So, I want to start off with Super Street Fighter IV 3D Edition, because this was maybe the most surprising one to me. It was a 3DS launch game, making it one of the oldest games on the entire system. Street Fighter V is the current game, and even then, Super Street Fighter IV isn't the latest version of Street Fighter IV, and it's the handheld version, where I'd imagine most of the dedicated fanbase aren't playing. As you may have guessed from my tone though, Super Street Fighter IV 3D Edition is not only very active, but I never had to wait for a game. Every single time I pressed quick search, it basically found one immediately. I backed out of the lobby every single time to find new players, and miraculously, most of the time, I did. A lot of people are still playing this game, and frankly, that's great. It's still really impressive that Capcom squeezed the entirety of Street Fighter IV onto the 3DS at launch and didn't really cut anything. I mean, yeah, the backgrounds are static, but the core gameplay mechanics and the roster and the content is all there. Not only that, but there's a brand new 3D Versus mode which I completely forgot about, and in fact that has an online mode too, and in there, I also found players. I can't remember if they're separate modes, but if they are, that's very impressive. But yeah, Street Fighter IV on the 3DS is still pretty popular. Alright, how about another fighting game? Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. Yoshi, don't leave that cover! We tested this on Wii U too, and on that platform we found matches near instantaneously every single time, and yeah, the same's true here. Shouldn't be a big surprise given it sold more on 3DS, but I am still a little surprised given the platform. This isn't exactly the go-to place you think of when you think Smash community, but I guess there's still a lot of people out there who don't have a Switch yet. It does share one thing in common with Wii U though, I only found matches in 1v1 for glory. Now technically I found someone searching for 4-player for glory, but it was just one person, so that's just kind of 1v1 for glory. All the other modes, including for fun, just gave me diddly squat. Bit of a shame, but 1v1 for glory is kind of my go-to mode anyway, so not a whole lot is lost for me personally, but if you prefer playing other modes, then there's not really a whole lot of variety on 3DS right now. Alright, let's move away from fighting games for a moment and go towards a shooter with Kid Icarus Uprising, one of the very best games on the system. I played online to death when it was new, and I am delighted to find out that people are still playing today. I know there are dedicated Discord groups which specialise in finding games together, but even without those, I still found some players. And granted, they didn't fill the entire room, and in this game when you find more than one player, the rest of the players are filled out with bots. So even if you find just one person, you can still play. The max I found was 4, meaning there were 2 bots in the lobby, but it's still great seeing people play this game completely unorganised. The free-for-all was a little more populated, with Light vs Dark having more CPU players. I really hope this game gets a remaster sometime. Not only is it fantastic, but the online deserves to be preserved. In any case, it's really cool people are still playing this game. Okay, next up a game I spent over 80 hours in, Resident Evil The Mercenaries 3D. This may not be the definitive game in the series, but it was portable Mercenaries, and at the time, that's all I wanted in life. It's also the first Resident Evil game where you can move and shoot at the same time, so that's pretty neat. I expected this game to be dead and forgotten, but to my surprise, you can still find people. I never found more than one person to choose from, but almost every single time I at least found someone. This game being alive may have been my biggest surprise of them all. It's still really fun too. It captures the essence of Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5 really well on the 3DS of all things. It would be great to get a standalone sequel, but for now, you can get your fill on 3DS. So these have all been success stories so far, but let's get a little dire. Tekken 3D Prime Edition was a very weird game. It was kind of sold as a bundle with the movie, and I'm not sure that many people really played this one. No one really talks about it at least, but the pure gameplay is still really good. I played it online a bit when it was new, but I've not touched this game in years. And in all of my searches, it seems I'm not the only one. I widened the criteria as much as I could, but I just couldn't find a single soul. I made it so rank didn't matter, that region didn't matter, but still, absolutely no one. Let me know if you still play this, because in my experience, it seems pretty empty. But on a slightly, but not much more positive note, Metro Prime Federation Force. I tried searching for games, and I found no one. Oh, however, on the Blast Ball front, I found someone. Not only that, but I found someone a few times. Now, Blast Ball is a 3v3 game, and much like Uprising, if you find one person, the rest of the players are filled out with bots. So while I was very far from filling the entire lobby, I still played Blast Ball online with someone in 2021. And honestly, going back, Federation Force controls really well. The gyro controls are frankly some of the best Nintendo's ever done. It feels really good to shoot things in this game. I know most people hate this game, but there's still quite a lot of merit in there. And if you like Blast Ball, then there's still some people playing. Not many, but some. So, go play that. But that wasn't Nintendo's only co-op game, because we also have The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. And I'm gonna go against the curve and say I also like this game. It's not amazing, but I had fun. But I will say the single player experience is pretty miserable. This is not a game to play on your own. And if you don't have friends playing it, then the only option is to search online for strangers. Now here are my results. I found quite a few people, but none of them stuck around. So you need 3 players to start a game, and for whatever reason, no one was willing to wait for a third player. I found a lot of different player 2s, but they were never patient enough to wait for a third player for more than a minute. So I kinda wanna say this game is active, but I also can't prove that, because in my testing, I didn't get to play a single game. I found people for sure, but I guess you need more than that. In any case, I strongly recommend playing with friends if you're gonna play Triforce Heroes. It's just way more enjoyable that way. It's time to make you feel old. This year, Mario Kart 7 is going to be 10 years old! Didn't it just come out? I played this online to death back in the day. I love Mario Kart 7. Even if it was a little bit weird to have characters such as Honey Queen and Wiggler, but not Waluigi, even though you have Waluigi Pinball. What? This game is technically 2 iterations old. We have Mario Kart 8 on Wii U and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch, and I guess Mario Kart Live if you count that. You probably shouldn't. But for a 10-year-old 3DS game that's 2 iterations outdated, you can still find people, of course. Almost every single time we had 8-player maxed out races, and the search times? Practically non-existent. And I'm not sure if I was just lucky, but every single time I spectated a match, it was pretty much ending anyway. This was ridiculously good. How about battle mode though? How was that? Well, my first encounter gave me a rather bad impression as I found just one person. Not only that, but they didn't move the entire time. And then when the match ended, still just them. So I backed out, searched again, and that's more like it. So I think I just had bad luck the first time because those other times were pretty much flawless. Both Mario Kart 7 races and battles are still very active, and so is the Honey Queen.
So, are there any big 3DS games that you still play online that weren't included in this video, and are you surprised at any of these results? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to go to that subscribe button and just test it for years to come to make sure that it still works. Just keep making, alt accounts. And we'll see you next time. Bye everyone.